George and everyone, good morning. Norman Cassiano was shot inside the nightclub, hiding with others inside a crowded bathroom stall when the gunman walked in and started shooting. Norman was just discharged from the hospital on Monday and spoke with us moments ago. I see you still have your hospital wristbands on. How are you feeling?
I'm still gathering everything, just trying to make sense of everything. Physically, it's a lot. There's pain, but
and emotionally, that's a whole
emotionally, it's a whole nother level, yeah.
Okay, so take us back to that night. You were about to call Uber, you were about to leave the bar when the shots rang out, and you managed to get to a bathroom.
Yes.
Tell me what happened next.
Once I heard the first two shots, I knew that it wasn't music, and I automatically just got as low to the floor as I could and crawled my way to the bathroom and went into the biggest stall they had. And once I got in there, there was already about 20 people hiding and just lined up against the walls. With me, there came like another group of like 10 or 15 more. So in total, it was like 30 or more of us in there.
And then you were listening to the shots, but then you started hearing them get closer and louder.
Yes, at that point, it became extra real. It became really real. At that point, everyone just was ducking and closing their eyes, and I heard a lot of people praying. I myself was praying and just saying that this can't be my last moments here. Like, this can't be what's gonna happen right now. It's still very surreal.
I cannot even imagine. And then the gunman came into the bathroom.
Actually, a victim made his way into the bathroom first. I guess he was trying to get away, and he had gotten hit already.
And so he was following that person into the bathroom?
We didn't really put two and two together right away, but the person was so injured that he automatically fell to the floor. And I was one of the closest people to the front where you could see the space he was laying underneath. We were trying to get him to be able to come into the stall, but there was so many people that there was no way of being able to get him in. So I was just consoling him and telling him, just make sure you breathe and be quiet so that he doesn't hear us, or, so nothing worse happens. And I just told him to look me in the eye and just relax. And I'll remember this forever. He just looked me in the eye and he's like, I don't want to die. At that moment, the shooter came in and fired another. Well, at that moment, he fired another shot at the gentleman who was on the floor.
And killed him?
Yes. Actually witnessed his last few moments. At that moment, he then rang fire on the stall, just without knowing where he was shooting. He just shot at the stall. I was near the front, and once I heard him cocking the gun and getting ready to do what was about to happen, I turned and started getting closer towards the back. There was no space, so everyone's piling up on top of each other, trying to get as far away as possible. And when he rang the first shots, that's when I got hit on my right side. And I automatically knew, it was real. He had a good brief 10 seconds in between that, and at that moment I pull out my phone and I start calling my parents. My phone was dying because I wasn't expected to be there that long. So my father was able to pick up, and the only thing I was able to put out with the last few seconds of my phone was, "Mom, Dad, I've been shot. I love you guys," and then the phone hung up. So
before I start to share my story, I want to recite a poem that I wrote in the middle of the night last night, which really shows everything that I'm feeling right now. And it's a part of my healing process, writing. So, the guilt of feeling grateful to be alive is heavy. Wanting to smile about surviving, but not sure if the people around you are ready. As the world mourns the victims killed and viciously slain, I feel guilty about screaming about my legs in pain because I could feel nothing, like the other 49 who weren't so lucky to feel this pain of mine. I never thought in a million years that this could happen. I never thought in a million years that my eyes could witness something so tragic. looking at the souls leaving the bodies of individuals, looking at the killer's machine gun throughout my right peripheral, looking at the blood and debris covered on everyone's faces, looking at the gunman's feet under the stall as he paces. The guilt of feeling lucky to be alive is heavy. It's like the weight of the ocean's walls crushing uncontrolled by levees. It's like being dragged through the grass with a shattered leg and thrown on the back of a Chevy. It's like being rushed to the hospital and told you're going to make it when you laid beside individuals whose lives were brutally taken. The guilt of being alive is heavy. It wasn't until about 1:58 when I looked at Akira's phone and I turned to Tiara. I said, "So how are we getting home?" Tiara told me, "Oh, we're going to get an Uber." So she started to order the Uber. And a few seconds from her ordering the Uber and me asking that question, that's when we started hearing the gunshots going off. Me and Akira actually made it outside while the gunshots were still going off. And I said, "Well, where's Tiara? Where's Tiara?" So, and the part of the poem where I feel so guilty about surviving is because if I would have told Akira to stay outside and just wait, and I'll try to go back and get Tiara because she didn't make it. Me and Tiara did make it, and I feel really guilty about that. And I was speaking to her mom, and she told me not to feel guilty. You know, God has his plan, but I told her, "Let's go get Tiara. We got to get Tiara." So when we went inside, we got trapped in there. And me, Tiara, and Akira were like actually the last ones to actually get into the bathroom stall, the handicap one, the biggest one. And the guy it was an African-American male who ended up closing and locking the door, who I believe got shot from doing that in the process. And the gunman entered the bathroom and was shooting his machine gun. So we're all like scrambling around in the bathroom, screaming at the top of our lungs when he was in there for the first time. And then, you know, people are getting hit by bullets, like blood is everywhere. And then there was a moment where he stopped shooting in the bathroom. And that's when everyone looked around, and that's when I first realized that my leg was shot. There were several other people shot and bleeding in the bathroom. That's when Akira, who didn't make it, realized she was shot in her arm. And I'm not sure if that was when Tiara also got shot in her side, but we were all pretty bad. And at that point, we knew that this wasn't a game. This was very real, and this is something that was really happening to us right now. And it was shock. We just went from having the time of our lives to the worst night of our lives, all within a matter of minutes. And we laid there for hours and hours, hoping that someone came and got us, and hoping that the police would come through at that point in time and just like save us all. But throughout that period of hours, the gunman was in there with us, and he actually made a call to 911 from in there.